I'm your host, Lana, from Late Nights with Lana. Due to technical difficulties, we lost the first 6 minutes of this interview, but enjoy the rest of the show.
That meant something to me because I wrote it about like mental health awareness and like I made like a set list, like a rule list. It was like first one on the list was like check on your loved ones, make sure that everybody's okay. Like, you know, anyone you care about, hit them up. And like two is make sure that you are good at all times because you can't, because like Biggie said one time, you can't change the world unless you change yourself. And I think the others, I think it was just love yourself and just make sure like, you know, just everything was just all about like self-love really.
Yeah.
And that was the first one I did. Then after that, I just started experimenting with all these other designs out of my head. And yeah, I just started pushing them out. I just made a bunch. I remember I made like 10, I think, in the beginning. And then I just started posting them on Instagram and I did like little photo shoots with them and stuff like that. And yeah, from there, everything sold. And then I was like, wow, like people actually like my work. It's not shit. Like,
Right.
now,
was that your initial fear? Like, did you have that roadblock
yes,
in your head?
I had a lot of self-doubt like in the beginning, like just like, because I was like, I don't know if like, because I used to just doodle. Like I always just doodle. Like I would always draw and stuff on like my clothes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, but they were just for me. Like,
What about in school? You taking a test, you draw on the margins?
sometimes. I mean, if they're not Scantron, I would definitely do it. Like, I would definitely do that, yeah. Because like Scantron, would, like our teachers would be like, you can't draw on a Scantron or have anything there because you won't take it. Like, and I'm like, shit. And but other than that though, yeah, I started for doing that, and like from there, it's just been me making new stuff, and like I've seen myself grow, like and make new things, and like just learn from trial and error. Like trial and error was the biggest thing, like just being able to make something and then like, cause I had a lot of mess ups. I had a lot of mess up where like, you know, I mess up on something and then I'd make the fabric or use it. Like I'd reuse it. I'd always like not waste a single fabric that I
What's
had.
a mess up for you? Like if you're working on something?
Okay, so maybe like I'll start. For example, like say for example this jacket. Like I maybe started this jacket and it was all black in the beginning. So I whited it out and then I made it a whole different design. But I looked at it afterwards and I was like, it's just not hitting right now. Like it's not.
Yeah, you didn't feel it.
I didn't feel it. And I always have this saying like if it doesn't touch my soul, like I don't want it. Like
yeah.
So. Yeah, I just kind of like just do something over, like, you know, white it out all over again and just start it again. So add another layer and just go for it.
Yeah.
Until it hits the spot, like that's when I know when to put the pen down.
So that's something you had brought up, something you had brought up to me was like people gift you clothing, a lot of the clothes that you work on.
Hell yeah.
How does that feel? I mean, I'm sure it feels pretty cool, but does each piece hit you where you feel like you can create on that piece?
I prefer blank pieces, but like I can work on pretty much anything, like whether it be like, you know, a carpet, a couch, your pants, your shoes, your hat, like whatever. Honestly, I'm like, so if anybody donates me anything, like they'll go through their closet and might be like they're gonna go to Goodwill or something and drop off all these clothes, but I'm like, you know, just drop it off with me. Like I'll check it out. Like I'll see if anything hits me, like, you know, and that's usually the case. I have a lot of friends that do that type of stuff for me, and I appreciate it very much. Like anybody who takes the time to, you know, do that, because I'm super big on sustainability and like being able to reuse certain things, like, you know, over and over again, like and repurpose them in a different sense. Like so it's really nice in that aspect, because like I've literally taken like clothes that are like skinny jeans that were like back in like 2000 and like 12 or like something like that. Like back when like New Boys and everybody was like jerking and like shit like that, you know? Like that was a time. But I remember someone donated me some clothes. So it was like these colored skinny jeans, and like obviously they couldn't fit me because they were just super small. But I was cool. I like funky colors because like I cut them up and I made them into like this blazer that I had, my first blazers I actually sewed, and it's cool because I love seeing like repurposed things that were once used for something else and now made them into a whole different art piece. Like it's cool. I love that. And I love playing around with different mediums. It's just so fun, like to see how something comes out. Like, you know, whether it be spray paint, using my sewing machine, using acrylic, using like honestly anything I get my hands on. I love learning new type of mediums.
Yeah.
People would be teaching me new stuff. Like
sewing's new for you, right? Is that right?
Sewing, I started that in quarantine with my my grandma and my aunt and my mentor Tina Correcas, and it was really cool because that they kind of like put down the groundwork, kind of like for me, like teaching me how to use it properly and
Yeah,
like being
yeah.
able to like play around with it or make like different things with it that I didn't even know was possible. So once I learned the groundwork, it was kind of like just going from there, like just taking little steps forward and like
Right,
learning new things.
right.
So that's kind of what I've been doing. Plus, YouTube is a pretty big help too.
It's literally everything you need is there.
Bro, people don't understand.
Realize
Like
it.
everything you want is on
Yeah.
the internet. You could do anything, like literally
Yeah.
anything you want.
Well, coming back to those roadblocks. Like, do you think, and you said something along the lines of that you can create any kind of career out of art. It's just a matter of doing it. And I think a lot of people get caught up on money or taking that chance where there's not that backing. Not that college would necessarily give you that backing, but I think it's a sense of security for some people. How do you shift your mind, or how do you think people need to shift their minds to better feel like they can become an artist?
I feel like people really just need to get themselves out of a box and just start doing it. Like just get out of your brain and just, because there's so many things that get caught up with, like, the thoughts that you have that are maybe might be negative or self-doubt or anything that gives you an excuse why not to do something. And I feel like the biggest thing is just do it, put it out in the world, and let everybody else decide if it's good or not. But at the same time, if you love it and it's something that you're really passionate about, don't worry about the money. Don't worry about any of that. Just do it, get it out there, and keep the ball rolling. Because people are not going to believe in what you do until you get the ball rolling yourself.
Right.
And that's what I've learned, like, over time and stuff. Like, nobody really gives a shit, like, until you get it done. You got to put the work in, because if you don't, nobody else is going to do it for you. Like, so get it done, do it, whatever it is you want to do, just do it. Like, get it done. And I feel like the biggest thing is everything else will come. Like, it's just law of attraction. If you put something out in the world, you're gonna get feedback regardless of like what it is, whatever it's like, whether it's shit to somebody else or whether it's good to you or good to somebody else. Like, you never know. Art is so subjective. Like, it's somebody out there could look at my work and say it's complete shit, but some people out there can think it's amazing. Like, it's all subjective. Like, it's all opinions, and like nobody's really wrong. Like somebody that says my work is shit, that's their opinion. Like, they were raised in a certain perspective to believe that, so they believe that. And then there's somebody who thinks it's great, and they're not wrong either. Like, it's all opinionated subjectively. That's how you think. And like, it is what it is.
Keeping up on your mental health is important to you. How does that tie into your designs?
It ties into my design because, like, when I was going through my own stuff with mental health, like growing up and everything, and like something I still struggle with every season, like winter season and stuff. Like, this season, I think I might have it under control. But I think it's everything ties in together because it's something that is meaningful to me, and I know it's meaningful to a lot of people, and people are just now starting to realize more about it. I think the pandemic really made people like more open-minded about it and start thinking of it as like something that's like, not something to look down upon, but something to look at, something that is real. It's very real, and everybody goes through it to some perspective. And I like how nowadays, like, they're showing like, all these different like celebrities and all these different like Olympic medalists and stuff like going through it. And it's shining light on it, and I respect that and I love it. But there needs to be something that shows like the average Joe, like the average person, like, who is either just coming up or they're just working like a 9 to 5, or maybe they're doing like, freelancing or whatever. But everybody goes through some type of thing where no matter what it is. And I think mental issues are really something that shouldn't be like used as issues, but something that used as a part of them, like,
Right. Do you think, we all have to deal with our mental health and keep up with it in some way. Do you feel like during the pandemic, designing and creating in this new way helped you come out of a place? Were you stuck?
It did very much help me get out of a place. And it also, because it lets me kind of like, I view art as like my therapy. Like, whenever I pick up like a paintbrush or I work on my sewing machine or I work on anything, it's like, it's so beautiful, like how it is. Like, nothing can take away, like, no drug or anything anybody can do or whatever. Like, I don't do any of that. I do nothing. Like, only thing I do is just paint. That's it. But like, that's like my best high ever. Like, I'll never like, I nothing can compare to that. It's like when I'm in a zone and I'm getting creative and I'm seeing something like getting done, it's like nothing else I ever felt before in my life, and it's amazing. I love the feeling. It's because I could just visualize everything I'm looking at. Like I'll look at this jacket, put it down on the ground, and like just visualize exactly what I want it to look like, and then I just do it. Like it's cool. It's so it's definitely a form of therapy for me, and it releases a lot of my things that are inside. Because I'll go into a project not even know what to do, and I'll just go by how I feel and like kind of just pick it up and just look at it and then just keep it going. Like it's very rewarding. I love it.
Yeah.
And it did kind of get me out of a dark place that I was once in. Because I noticed like seasonal depression is like a very big thing, especially like in the East Coast, like when winters hit hard. And I think the best thing to do is like really just surround yourself with people that you love, and having that support cast around you, that people that you really trust and you care about, and they care about you as well. And I think sometimes when you get lost in your own thoughts, sometimes you forget like all the people that matter to you, and all the people that you matter to them. And it's really good to just being able to be vocal. And sometimes it's hard for people just to be able to be vocal about what the things they're going through, but you'd be surprised how many people are very similar and going through the same things you're going through. And that's very important. Like, you got to be able to be vocal and say what you, because I had a hard time with that. And talking to people about it was very releasing to me, like to be able to just like have it, say it out loud, all your, like what you're feeling or whatever, no matter what it is, and vocalize it. And once you do, it's kind of easy to just talk about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, well, for me, like last time I was in a really bad funk, my last fashion show that I had, like the first one I ever had, that got me out of it. Like that motivated me to push myself out of it and get things done. And like, from there, it's just been smooth sailing. Thank the Lord, like,
Short-term goals help you to kind of see what you can do.
Exactly.
Further. Yeah.
I 100% agree. Like doing short-term stuff, like having things like in your vision of like for the future is very important. Like, and just, like I said before, just getting it done, just doing it up.
Yeah. Now, another thing I'm curious about is what is it like putting together an outfit?
Oh.
Like you were telling me a little bit about how this outfit came about, but you switched a couple times.
Yeah, it's colors are very important.
Yeah.
Colors are very important to me. Like ever since I was a kid, I always like matching up colors, and like I used to be like 8 years old in the mirror looking at colors and putting them like clothes together, my outfit for school tomorrow, and all that other stuff. Like, so colors are very important, like how matching and being able to collide certain things together, see how they look. So that's like the first step really, is to pick my colors that I want to like, use. And then from there, once I pick my colors, I'll kind of like merge everything kind of together. Like, for this fit, I specifically made this fit like exactly the way it is. Like, I wanted the pants to be this way, and I wanted the jacket to be like this. Everything else, like, that kind of just came along afterwards. Once you make the the main pieces, the statement ones, those are the ones that are going to be like, the capturer. That's going to be the one that puts everything together. But the other ones are also very important, like the complementary pieces. So, like right now I have a cardigan on, and then I have this hoodie that I made, like crew neck actually, and then the pants, jacket. But yeah, colors are very important.
Yeah.
Like from there on, you kind of just figure it out. Like, have like, I usually pick about 4 main colors or 3, like depending on like what I really want to do. And then those 4 colors, go ahead. Sometimes like, it'll be something simple like just 2 colors. But when I want like a big like piece that'd be like a statement kind of thing, then I'll do like a lot of colors.
Now, how'd you, these are all pockets, by the way.
Yes, these are all pockets.
Pants. So Fvller is able to put multiple things throughout the pant.
Yes, but it gets very lost. I have many things in these pockets right now, and like I was looking for my phone earlier.
Yeah. What made you go from like a patch to a pocket?
Oh, I'm gonna be really honest with you. It was just laziness. Like I really just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So, cause sewing takes a while, man. Like it really does.
Yeah.
So I was like, I could cut my time if I make these all pockets, and like, cause like sewing them all in like in the square kind of form is like. Yeah, it's some shit sometimes, like, because like it's a whole pants, like
and
with one little sewing machine.
You're shifting the pants around.
You are shifting it.
You can't speed up the sewing machine.
Unfortunately, you can't. You can, but sometimes it gets jammed, and like you got to take your time. You got to make it with love,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of like what I did with this one. So It kind of just came out like it's one of those things where like as you're doing it, you kind of like figure out kind of like how you kind of want to like make it. Because I change my mind like the seasons.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'll be going to an idea of like how I want a jacket to be, and then I'm like, hey, you know what, this is pretty questionable. I might do something else. Like so, yeah, it's usually like that. But yeah, those are like the main components usually when it comes down to making a fit. Really, it's really just visualizing the colors, know how you want to do it, and that's something I've been playing around with recently. Because like I usually just make pieces, just one piece, and that's it. But now like I'm really looking at like entire fits. Like for my next fashion show that I'm doing, it's gonna be December 16th. I'm focusing on outfits, like whole entire fits from head to toe, and I want to deck all the models out in these fits, and it's gonna be it's a new challenge, but like I'm very excited for it because I really get to experiment on like everything I was taught that I was like since I was like 6, like
Yeah.
so it's cool. I get to finally see like how everything kind of goes together.
Can you bring me back to like you at 6 years old? How were you creating in a very similar way that you are now?
Oh, dude, it was pretty fire, honestly. Like, not gonna lie, yo, like, I didn't really go outside much when I was like that age, because like, I kind of lived in the hood, so I wasn't really able to go outside that much. Like people, my mom kind of wanted to keep me in a good area, keep me like, at home and like, safe. So, what I used to do was, when I was a kid, I remember riding my bike like, up the block and stuff, and like, when I was home being creative, I didn't have many toys, so what I did was I kind of just took pencils and took like my hands and kind of just made my own creations from that.
Yeah.
So I kind of would just have like play like different things with my hands or whatever, or I'll make my own crayons, like those little army people like you had.
Yeah.
So I would take those, right, and I get like these crayons, like a yellow, maybe a red, maybe like a white or a brown or whatever, and I just put them all into like this red Solo cup. And I just put water in them, and I just put them in the microwave and like melt them, and like I put like these little toys that I didn't really care about anymore, like in there, and make my own crayon, and then I just draw with my crayon. So I just make my own colors.
Yeah.
And that was like the first thing I really like remembered that I used to do. That, and I used to draw dragons a lot. Like I love drawing dragons.
That's so. What made you think that you could? You were 6 when you were doing it.
I don't know how old I was. Probably I just know I was very small.
Yeah,
I was a very small child.
So these are like the parachute like army figurines that you drop down and they parachute out.
Oh, I'd use like anything, honestly.
Anything and they would color because it's wax or plastic. So
yeah. Honestly, it's like whatever. Like I really just would like take anything that I didn't really care about. Like I just like put it in there, and then when you put it in the wax, it makes the whole image like covered in wax. So the whole thing is a crayon.
Yeah.
So it could be like something like a McDonald's toy. You get a Happy Meal, and like you don't really care about it. So like you stick it in there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you grew up in Neptune, yeah?
Yes, I grew up in Neptune, like Asbury kind of area.
Okay.
So that was pretty nice.
And then you went to Ocean High School.
Then I moved to Ocean High School and graduated there. But I only went there for like 2 years, so it was like, it was like kind of like a little hiccup.
Yeah.
Briefly.
But were you in art classes? Were you getting art out in displays, or was that not as prominent then?
I was in the they had this program in Neptune where it was called Gifted and Talented Art Program. So it was like kind of like honors, but like for art people.
Yeah.
Like, and that was a cool program I was in when I first entered middle school, and then when I entered high school, I was kind of like, I kind of just skipped little grades for like that type of stuff. But like I didn't really care for it that much though. Like I just like back in like middle school and high school, like I really was designing shoes. Like I was kind of like just people used to give me shoes like Vans or like whatever, and I used to just always like that's kind of like a little hustle I had when I was growing up.
Yeah.
They kind of give it to me, and I just like just draw on them and like charge like what like $50 or something like that, and like that's kind of made money off of it. That like so that was like my first thing with art, but like I didn't really care much about it after because I was like. I had that practicality embedded into my brain of like, oh, I need to be a doctor or something like that, or be
That's
like.
right, yeah.
So I went out of high school and went into like pre-med for a while, and like, yeah, then like went back to art.
I remember you saying that. I remember we were talking on the phone. You were saying that like that was just not in your plans for you.
It just was not hidden, Like I felt, what it felt like? I felt like I was stuffing all the material down my throat, and like, I was doing pretty well, like but it just wasn't like hitting my soul, and like I go back to that. If it doesn't hit my soul, I can't do it. Like,
yeah.
And if it's forced love, it's no love, like and so yeah, I basically like, stopped doing that and like, focused on, but I was trying to figure out what exactly I wanted to do. Like, but the biggest thing was me trying different things. That's why I tried photography, did it, loved it. I still have a love for it. Like, but it's just designing things and design on clothes was like the first thing I really did artistic wise. And like, drawing on shoes, next thing you know, like I just took all the things I used to do like when I was a kid and transitioned them to what I'm doing like now.
Yeah.
So like all the times I used to be like 6 hours straight when I was like 15, drawing on someone's shoes, like making it for them. Like that's the same kind of energy I'm doing now,
Right.
except with like bigger things. Like
Right.
I just finished a couch the other day, like and I looked at it. I was my first couch I did, so I was like very like happy with it. I was like, oh my god, this is so awesome. I came a long way, man.
How'd you find a foldable couch?
Oh, Amazon, bro.
It was on. Okay.
Yeah, I got a couch like a minute ago because I just wanted to have a couch, like so. But yeah, no, I needed to have my whole little at-home studio, like decked out with my stuff. So I was like, you know what, I've been wanting to work on this for a while. Let me do it.
Yeah. And you mentioned like you going into school realizing that you didn't want to be in school for bio. You had mentioned that art school would be kind of forced too, right? Because
I did try to go into art school. I got denied twice, actually. I did. I got denied twice from like Parsons.
yeah.
I will one day make them regret that though. They will one day regret that. But it's okay though. I know plenty of kids that go to Parsons and like kids that go to
Sure.
like those like art schools and stuff. It's cool. Like, but even they sometimes say like it's not really like all that great. Like,
Yeah.
like it's sometimes better just to like learn on your own and like learn from like real world experience. And that's kind of what I've been doing. Like I just kind of just been like, going out there in the world, talking to people, like, learning from like, predecessors or people that are older than me. Like it's, because they have knowledge that like I don't have. And
Yeah.
like it's always good to just listen and just understand from different perspectives of how to do things. And like mentors are very important. I feel like it's like a teacher, but it is a teacher. Like
Yeah.
you learn from them, and it's good for that. And I think that's like I think real world stuff is like really important because once you get, I know some kids that come out of like school and stuff, and like they don't even know what they're doing or don't know what they never had anything outside the classroom besides maybe like an internship.
Right,
And even
right.
internships are a little bit iffy because like you don't know what you're gonna get out of it.
That's true. I mean, you don't, and I think, when you're going into curriculum, you kind of have a strict, you have to meet a certain criteria to graduate, depending on the school. You've decided to make a classroom out of your world. How has the Jersey Shore influenced you and taught you this time?
Oh, the Jersey Shore. Oh, this is home, man. Like I remember times when I was like a kid, like I used to just be hanging out at the beach with friends. But like it's always been home, man. It's the way it's like helped me kind of was just being able to have Asbury Park kind of right there, and like being able to be when I was like first coming out of like bio, I was like kind of went there and just kind of like went inside all these little art galleries, and kind of learned the world is a lot bigger than I thought it was. Like like it's so much more out there, but you have to go out there and find it.
Right.
Like nothing's gonna come to you. Like you have to go out there and look for it yourself. Like so. Yeah, it's kind of like what I did, and like I just talked to a lot of people and just just trying to like learn as much as I can, but also just be a student of the game. Like you never can stop learning. Like we're all a student of life. We're all learning like every day, whether you're 16 years old or whether you're 80. There's something that you can always learn from even people who are younger than you or any age. It doesn't matter who they
Yeah.
are.
Who inspires you?
Crap. A lot of people, A lot. I'm inspired by everybody that's around me, honestly. Like, everybody's that's out there living their truth or doing like, what they love to do. Like, I love that, I love when people tell me what the things they geek out on and the things that they love to do or like to do, like when they're home or like that type of shit inspires me. Like, like just be yourself organically. Like, who cares? Like, people who are just like out there doing their thing. Like, hey, what? Go you, Like, do your shit.
Yeah. Because
Like-
you're seeing it happen in real time, right? You're not seeing like this finished product like in Hollywood or
Nah, yeah,
you know,
it's
you're
real.
s-
I love that real organic, like just like that real stuff. Like nothing that's like filtered or like something that's like. I like. I'll tell you this film I saw. Like I really liked it. It was very real. Like if you've seen Kids, it's like this old like '90s movie, and it's like it's a good movie too, and also like there's mid '90s like I love skate culture, so like it's very like in tune to me. So I like stuff that is just real, like like just real raw footage, like of like people who are like out there doing their thing, or like depictions of like how things are in the like for the average person you don't really think about, like films like that, like all these films about like wars and like all this stuff about like hypothetical situations. Like, they're cool and all. Like they look like they're very Hollywooded out, but a lot of stuff in Hollywood are just very recycled ideas. And like I like things that needs to be something that's real, like raw. Like I love coming of age films. I love movies, so movies inspire me a lot too.
Yeah.
As well as people. And I do have music. I listen to a lot of music, so whenever I'm making stuff, like music inspires me heavily. Like what I'm listening to can dictate how a piece comes out.
Do you ever have a song on repeat?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like I always have like a certain amount of songs that I kind of like just like go to, or like albums. I usually like to listen to albums, and like I'll just listen to the albums like on repeat.
Yeah.
But like my music taste kind of arrays like a different thing. Sometimes I'm feeling like very rap. Sometimes I'm feeling like hip hop. Sometimes I'm feeling R&B. Sometimes I'm feeling some indie, alternative. Like sometimes I'm even feeling like some rock, like some '80s rock or something like that. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I love that type of. I love like going back in time, listening to old music. It's very. It can change up how I do something, or change up how I feel like when I'm doing things, because how I feel dictates how things come out.
Yeah. And as a designer and a creator, I think this is going to be the last question I ask, as I think we're running to our time. What do you want people to know about you as a person in this process of creating your designs that you don't think that they know?
I put a lot of love into my pieces. Like I really do. I put a lot of time and effort into them. Like I really do. I love this, yo. Like I can see myself doing this for a very long time. Now, knowing where everything's gonna go, I have no idea. Like I'm just kind of like I'm pretty much just winging everything at this point. Like, yeah, there's goals I have for myself, and like I do look ahead into the future, like of how I envision myself to be, but it's really just got about doing it, man. Like I just love going out here and just winging it every single day, and like kind of like seeing how each day's gonna turn out, because I don't know how it's gonna be. Like I love just doing it, like going out there and making it happen and having the day surprise me. Like sometimes I'm in an area and like I didn't even know I was gonna be there, and like I want to go say hi to somebody I know in that area, or I'll see somebody, or I'll just do things in a moment. And I think living in a moment and being very present is very important. And what I want people to know is I care about what I do. I care about the people that I meet when I'm doing them, and like everybody that's here, everybody that's that I've ever met in my life, or I appreciate everybody, whether they have given me good experience or bad experiences. Like I appreciate all of it, because like I'm the person I am right now, and like I am sitting down here having a conversation with you, and everything comes to a certain point, like when you're in life and you kind of just take it all in like at once, like you just appreciate the moments, and I feel like that's very important. Like I just want people to know, like, appreciate all the moments.
Cheers, Fvller. Well, that caps our second Late Nights with Lana. Thank you, Fvller, for coming on. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
It's been pretty lit.
Yeah.
Sorry my hands are sweaty, guys.
We're good. Yeah. Yay, we did it, everyone. Cheers.